What's going on, guys? It's Brandon. You're watching Unwind. Today we're going to be talking about Longines again. Last time I did a video on Longines, a couple of you guys commented and said that I pronounce the name wrong. I'm from New England and I have an accent, so that's fine. You guys are going to know what I'm talking about, and you're going to get what you get with that. Today I finally got around to reviewing my Hydroconquest. This is actually what I considered my first real watch. And I think it's a watch that offers a lot of bang for buck. And it's a great watch, whether you're finally saving up to purchase a watch at that 4-digit price point, or even if you're a pretty high level collector, but you want some a little bit cheaper as like a beater or a daily driver because you don't want to scratch your Submariner. Because those are going 10 times the retail price of this Hydroconquest with what the current market price is at. To start, we have to talk about Longines, a company as a whole. This is a company that was first founded in 1832. That's going to put it 57 years after Breguet, but 73 full years before Rolex. When Rolex and Tudor were the new kids on the block, Longines was already established as a high-end luxury brand. But of course, in modern days, Rolex has definitely knocked Longines out of their pedestal. Either way, we're talking about a brand with some serious history behind them. Their winged hourglass logo was first used in 1889, and it's actually the longest running unchanged trademark in active use. In fact, nowadays, we worry about fake Rolexes, but back then, back in the day, there was fake Longines all the time. They were running rampant. Everyone knew it was a symbol of prestige and luxury, and everybody wanted one. My Hydroconquest is actually the last generation, and it's not the current generation model with the ceramic bezel. Mine has the aluminum bezel, which I actually prefer for my current collection. I own an Omega Seamaster with a shiny ceramic bezel. The aluminum bezel on this, it's not as vibrant and it's not as scratch resistant, but it definitely has its own character. Let me know in the comments below what you guys prefer. Do you like ceramic or do you like aluminum bezels? Does it matter to you guys one way or the other? Some people say aluminum will scratch, but I got this watch in 2012, so it's been a full decade, and I'd say it looks pretty good. But let me know what you guys think. The styling of this watch, it looks like a diver from a different age, and it is, so it should. I actually haven't realized it's been 10 whole years since I first picked up this watch. And to say the least, this review is markedly overdue, but at least I have a full in and out understanding of this watch right now since it's been 10 years. At 10 years, this watch isn't quite vintage, but the change in design is definitely apparent compared to like the current Hydroconquest. All of the brands were using aluminum at this point, including brands like Rolex, so it should look like a dive watch from this era. Tudor still uses aluminum in a lot of their Black Bay models. This watch is the 41mm model, but Longines did make a 39mm version of this watch. The case thickness sits at 12mm thick, so it actually has the same proportions as the newer Rolex Submariner, but it definitely doesn't wear the same, and that's something we're going to talk about. Again, this watch is 1K, not 10. You can find my version of this watch for around $700 on Joma Shop, used, or other gray market sites. The model number is L374245666 if anybody was interested. Inside, we are running a Longines caliber L619, which is a very lightly modified ETA movement with a 64-hour power reserve and a date function at 3 o'clock. You're getting a reliable and well-tested automatic Swiss-made movement, but nothing too fancy, and that's reflected in the price. With this watch, you're also going to be getting a sapphire crystal. I love the dial of this watch. It's pretty instantly recognizable as a Longines, but it's also reminiscent of Breitling watches from this era. You have silver indices the lume pip everywhere besides the 12, 3, and the 6, where you have large Arabic numerals. The dial is a black sunburst, which looks great in a variety of sunlight, but is also extremely legible at the same time. Before I picked up this dial, I was actually strongly considering the blue dial, but in person, it just didn't speak to me like the black did. And I'm pretty happy I ended up making that choice. This watch in black pretty much goes with anything. And you could dress this watch up, dress this watch down, either way. It's a serious tool watch with a screw down crown and 300 meters of water resistance, but it also looks dressy to a point. I think that the polished center links definitely add to that. Let's talk about the bracelet, because for me, it's one of the cons of this watch. And it's an area that not everybody is going to love, and I know that going into this review. I happen to like the polished center links. I think it's a pretty different look than what I get on the totally brushed bracelet of like my Rolex Oyster Perpetual. And unlike my OP41 or the Rolex Submariner, which is a better direct comparison for this watch, the bracelet doesn't taper. It starts and ends the same thickness all the way through, which gives this watch a distinct look. But it's not a look that everyone is going to love. The Omega Seamaster has a bracelet designed in the same fashion, and I know some people like that, but some people hate it. Let me know in the comments below, does it matter to you if you have a bracelet that tapers or not, or if you absolutely have to have it one way or the other? That's not a problem I have with this watch overall though. I have two problems with this bracelet. One is the width of 21 millimeters, which is just not ideal when you were trying to find aftermarket straps. They almost always come in at 20 or 22 millimeters, but not 21. So it's definitely going to be hard to find aftermarket straps for this watch. The other problem I have with this watch is its complete lack of a micro adjustment system that's quick. You have to use a tool to do micro adjustments with this watch, and you can always add or take out a link, but again, that requires the use of tools, and it's not something you can just do on the fly. I live in Alaska, so it might be 5 degrees in the winter, but it might be 85 degrees in the summer. I also lift a ton of weights and will bulk and cut at different times, so my wrist fluctuates a lot. When I fought in the cage, I competed at 170 pounds, but right now I'm walking closer to like 220. If you keep up with me a lot, then you know that I really love hiking, and when you hike and you climb altitude, your hands and wrist swells. When this watch is sized well, it feels absolutely amazing on wrist, but the key word there is when. Right now, this watch is actually wearing a little bit looser than I like it, and I have lost count of the number of times that I've had to resize this watch. With my Rolex OP, that's just not a problem due to the Rolex quick adjust system that they coined, the Easy Link system. This is something I'll talk about when I do my formal review of that watch later on, but it just gives you the ability to wear that watch a little tighter and then add a full link when you need it. Something like that on the Longines Hydroconquest would definitely be appreciated. The other weak point of this watch is its lume. It's bad. I mean, it's comically bad. Whether you have this watch outside in the sunlight all day, or if you hold it directly under a flashlight for like 10 minutes, you could walk in a dark room and it starts to lose lume instantly. Even with those two weak points though, overall, I think it's an awesome watch. The quality is a notable step up from a lot of its competition at that $1,000 price point or under. And I suspect the newer models, I haven't had hands on, but I suspect they look even better. Compared to my more expensive watches, like my Rolex or my Omega, the Hydroconquest sits right in place and it doesn't look like the odd guy out at the table. When most of my friends who don't know anything at all about watches take a look at my current collection, it actually catches their eye and it's their favorite a lot of their time. The quality is there, the movement is Swiss, and it's a reliable watch. I've had this watch for 10 years. I've worn it regularly. It's never been serviced, and it seems to keep time pretty perfectly. I say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you guys let me know down below. Am I a fool? Should I service this watch, or should I just let it keep going? With this watch, you're getting the history, the brand prestige that I talked about. And Longines may not be as highly regarded as they once were, but they're definitely on the way back up if you ask me. With their recent entries like the Legend Diver, the Spirit Zulu Time, the High Beat Ultrachron, the Aviation Big Eye, I think they're definitely on the right track to being a big name in the watch space once again. Longines is a brand that most watch collectors definitely know and respect, but it's just not a household name right now like Rolex or even Omega. Every time you look at the winged hourglass logo on the dial though, the longest running active trademark in history, you're going to be reminded about the history and the branding of this watch. You have this same winged hourglass logo nicely engraved on the backside of the case, which is something you don't always get at this price point, so that's a nice added bonus. In summary, I don't think that this is a perfect watch, but I'm comparing it to like my more expensive watches and the more expensive watches that I've been lucky enough to try on and get hands-on with on my channel. This has spoiled me to a degree. You know what they say, you don't miss what you don't have or what you don't know about. When I first got this watch, I'll tell you, it really blew me away. It was like my gateway into not only Swiss watchmaking, but luxury watchmaking at the time. So like I said before, I think this watch has enough to offer new enthusiasts and old collectors alike. It's kind of at the perfect price point to be a big spend for some people, but to be very affordable to other people. And I think it's a watch that just kind of has a lot going on for it. So make sure you guys let me know down below what you think of my watch, the Longines Hydroconquest. Have you guys tried one on? What do you think about this particular watch? What do you guys think about Longines as a whole? I definitely love to hear it, guys. Again, thanks so much for watching. Please do me a solid. Hit that subscription button. It really helps. Hit the bell icon. It's somewhere around here. I don't know where. And you're going to be notified every time I drop a new video to make sure you're seeing all my videos. And give the video a thumbs up. Again, guys, thank you so much. Catch you on the next one.